in my head here because I'm totally not thought about getting people to find me instead of me finding them.
Yep.
So that's huge already.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's been valuable.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, you have an opportunity to sell based on your experience because you're already making money in a certain area.
Yeah.
So the ship's not going to sink overnight,
Yeah.
right? So rather, and this is where I get super excited because this is entrepreneurship, right? This is about doing what you love and loving what you do.
Yeah.
So you've come into this space because you're good at it, because you love doing it, because you like to do it all the time. So you do that, then you work out, actually I'd like to be over here. So you're going to turn it and make sure that what you're working on can move over here.
Yeah.
But you're going to keep doing the work you're already doing because it makes money, feeds the family, does whatever it needs to do. But it's that transition of personal brand that's always quite often the hardest.
Yeah.
And I think it's about owning the fact that you're repositioning yourself as much as you're repositioning the business and saying, well, if I'm repositioning myself, no one knows me in this space. And if no one knows me in this space, I'll probably have to introduce myself to a few people. And that's where I go back to go where the attention is.
Yeah.
Sure, what can I do to make you want me in the room?
Yeah.
Next time you're in a planning session, the next time you're thinking about design or whatever. Like I remember when we decided, okay, we're going to need a draftsperson, but we probably don't need an architect. Was I mucked around, but have a graphic design background, so I was mucking around with Illustrator, kind of drawing out the house, and everything was sort of to measurement. But then I was like a staircase. Crap. I don't know how far down I've got to go. I don't know how far along I've got to go. I don't know what chat size is. I don't know anything. I was like, all right, Australian standards. Let's go. Let's take what I've got, give it to a draftsperson, and get it done properly. And I think that was at that point I was like, okay, who do I want in the room? You know, who's the person that's going to make me feel safe with my design? You know, I want to design my own house, but I want to hand it over to someone who's going to make it standards compliant. So you're really dealing with like mid-range boutique type builders that are kind of regional operators, is that right?
And where I think I do need to market to is those sort of individual builders who like to be hands-on with the tools. So they don't want to be in an office running a medium-sized business, they want to be on site, but they don't have time to quote the next job because they're on site.
Okay, cool. Where do you think you'd find them?
Through contacts.
Okay, cool.
And the problem is I have jumped onto social media this year, but I don't think that's the right place to find them.
Okay, that's interesting. They're not there.
I've even joined sites like Carpentry Australia, and there's chippies who love their work and they're putting up photos on Instagram, but they're the tech-savvy ones that I think might be doing the quoting and everything quite easily themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important to get a gauge on the start of customer in, right? So if you think about from the builder's point of view, specifically someone who doesn't want to do the admin, who is pretty keen to just be on the tools. I've got a personal friend of mine who definitely is that kind of person. And he's doing his builder's license at the moment. He would get home and scroll Facebook. He would get home and scroll Facebook, probably in front of the telly, right? With the missus next to him. But what are his other passions? Where else do I find him? Well, I find him at the footy club. I find him on a break, so surfing. And he's over 30. So are we talking typically male as well? So I guess it was a real wake-up call to me this week. I had with one particular client, we were talking about these middle-aged males that we deal with in the engineering industry that seem to kind of dominate the upper end of management in that space. And they got a lead in for quite a high-value job through someone sharing on LinkedIn a YouTube video. And we're talking guys in their 50s on LinkedIn who are clicking a YouTube video, watching the YouTube video in its entirety, then going, and it wasn't even, they didn't even post that particular video. It was a client who posted it, but they mentioned at some point that particular product or whatever service that they were that saved the day in the end. So they picked up that, found the business, gave them a call and said, come and have a chat with us, we're interested in X. What works from a Facebook point of view, and this is where I'd probably challenge you to look again, is think about the demographics and where you'd find them and narrow the market. So I'd be going into thinking about what struggles they have. So for instance, how to halve your time in quoting. Write a blog, how to halve your time in quoting. And talk about what we talked about around how many square metres of framing, how many square metres. Rather than them spending, no, of course not. But it's about providing value. So think about maybe, okay, you don't go into all the detail about how you go through that process, but give me a veneer, give me a snapshot that says, this is how I save money in my process, high level. Write a 500-word blog, not, really, really easy. Share it, and maybe do it doesn't cost much, like $10 boost on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, I've been wondering.
Narrow the market. Let's go males 30 to 60.
Yeah.
I don't know, think of your region, so we go on like eastern suburbs of Melbourne or something like that. And then target interests are football and carpentry and I don't know, rugby or something like that. Get those kind of guys who match the typical demographic who'd be keen on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And rather than go, do you want a project manager or do you want someone, catch them off guard because they're sitting there flicking through, watching telly, going, it's half my time I'm quoting.
Yeah.
Yes, please. They're going to read that, and then they're going to recognise, and maybe the call to action on the bottom is of that particular page is interested in project management. Don't underestimate the community as well. So the amount of people in that game who are in a footy club is massive. The amount of people in that game who hit up a trivia night on a Friday night or something like that, those community hotspots, and going, how can I be positioned in those? Maybe it's your sponsorship, maybe you fork out a bit of money and do a bit of that. Or maybe it's finding a clever way to partner with that organisation as well. But you've been in this longer than some people.
Yeah.
So you've got the coaching aspect there as well.
Yeah.
Now, the builder's not going to pay for a coach, right? But the fact that that's a value add. I always talk about from when it comes to like personal branding, it's not about what you do, it's about what you bring to what you do. So if you think about that from a value add point of view, if you're offering project management or design or quoting services and the guy's there and he's been owning his building company for 3 to 5 years, he's really starting to scale, but he's starting to get a bit wobbly around the edges, you go, look, I've been doing this for 15 years or whatever, I know my way around this and you're probably not charging enough, let's have a chat. All of a sudden, you can say, yes, I cost this much, but look what I just made you. You're in that savings space. I can make you more money.
I can make sure that your progress payments are staged properly so you don't run out of money halfway through a job. And can you see, and this is where branding really cuts in. So positionally, yes, you can position yourself in the market so that you can show what you bring to what you do, not just what you do. But when you have a brand story that is around that space as well. So let's say we briefly craft that brand story now. So the brand story is, yes, you've got experience in the industry. Yes, you know the building game quite a lot. But also, I guess you've got the client-facing piece as well. You're happy to deal with the clients. You're happy to ask for money, all that kind of thing. Then your value add, or what you can, it's essentially what you give out for free, right? So they pay you for this, you give it for free. What you can also do is, when you're trying to market yourself online, give it away for free anyway. Because what we're trying to do is say, I want her next to me. I want that when I'm trying to do my next quote. So think about that and go, okay, well, I'm going to do a series of 6 blogs. One's going to be on saving time quoting. One's going to be on how to get more margin out of my building. Those kind of ones. Working less for more money.
Yeah, exactly. How to reduce, there's that famous book that a lot of startup founders read called The 4-Hour Work Week. It's almost looking at it from that point of view and going, what's something audacious that you can say to a builder that's like work 3 days a week for the same money? How do I do that? Well, I'm going to show you very quickly how I can add 10% to your margin, and you're going to pay me that 10%. So you're going to make the same money, but I'm going to sit there and work the business, and you'll make that money. So from a positioning point of view, you can do that. From a brand story point of view, what that gives you is almost threads to pull on. Do you know what I mean? So saving money is one. Extra margin's another one. Saving time quoting is another one. I don't know, more leads might be another one. Position in the marketplace, or understanding how the building game works, even just client experience might be another one as well. And as soon as you've got those threads, all of a sudden you can go into advertising on those threads. So you think about the emotional buttons you might want to press on those pieces. Then you do the Facebook ad. Or then you do even the ad in the paper. I mean, some people might read the paper. It's kind of looking at it from those spaces. And that's probably where I differ in my marketing approach to most people, is I'm not a digital marketer. I'll push social because I think that's where everyone's attention is. We go to bed with our phone next to us. We wake up with our phone next to us. When we're on lunch break, we're scrolling our phone. So the attention is there. The second the attention is not there, and I think it's going to be 20 years before the attention isn't there, but the second the attention is not there, we go somewhere else. And we market somewhere else because it's about context. It's about where